Hi, I'm going to try to explain for people who maybe aren't familiar with mental health issues, specifically PMDD for me, so Premenstrual Dysphoric Disorder, trying to explain an analogy I came up with to make it make a bit more sense. So imagine you are at a cocktail party and it's in the backyard, it's a beautiful day, it's sunny, there's some trees for shade, every type of food you could imagine, everything you enjoy, there's drinks, there's tons of different people, the atmosphere is generally relaxed, everyone's just doing their thing, and that's kind of life. So the cocktail party is life. You show up, you do your thing, it's your time to go, you leave the party, you say goodbye. And generally it's mostly not bad. Maybe there's some discussions or debates or things get heated here and there, but it's overall a nice experience people want to participate in. And so in the backyard, there's also a swimming pool, and it's a fairly big size. It's got, steps walking down into the shallow end, and then it slopes down into the deeper end. And there's a diving board at the deep end. So there's stairs and you go up, and you can jump off the diving board. But the thing with the pool is, for some reason, even though the weather's lovely and it's a nice day out, the pool is freezing cold. It's full of ice. It's dark. It's not a welcoming place to be. So around the pool, you've got people, even though it's not someplace anyone really wants to hang out, and they're in various stages in the pool. So some are just kind of at the edge, dipping their toes in a little bit. Some are maybe up to their knees. They're one or two steps down in the shallow end. They're all stages. Some are sitting in the shallow end. They're fully submerged, but they're in the shallow end. Some are in the deep end, laying at the bottom. Maybe there's a person kind of at the side that's just kind of laying, dipping their hair in, and they could some of them could just get up and walk away from the pool and go back to the party, and they dry off in a couple minutes and everything would be fine. But for whatever reason, they're not able to do that. So imagine all of those people are varying degrees of mental illness. So maybe someone's got a little bit of anxiety, so they're kind of in the pool. They're still maybe talking to other people who aren't in the pool. They're still participating in the party a little bit, but they're just not fully there. Various levels of depression, addictions, people at different stages. So for some, it would be easier to kind of get themselves out of the pool if they had the right tools. Maybe they just need someone to kind of direct them a little bit. Maybe they need counseling. For others, it's a long, hard journey. And when they do get out of the pool, they're still sopping wet. They're still cold. It's not as easy. So kind of think of that as the spectrum of mental illness, and people could be at any different part of the pool. So the way I describe PMDD would be, I'm at the cocktail party most of the month. So I'm enjoying my time. I'm talking to people. I'm having conversations. I'm enjoying the food. I'm interacting. Everything's normal. I fit in with all the people who don't have a mental health issue. But for whatever reason, I just get overwhelmed with this feeling like I need to go to the pool. And I walk over and I climb the ladder and I get up on the diving board and I just drop myself headfirst into the ice cold, dark, awful pool. And I go all the way down and, touch the bottom. And it takes me, I'm disoriented and I'm cold and I'm in shock. And it takes me a while to figure out which way is up and which way is down. I'm holding my breath the whole time because I can't breathe underwater. And so then eventually, I become oriented. I break the surface, make my way to the shallow end, and slowly I walk myself up the stairs and I get out of the pool. For a little while, I'm still dripping wet, cold, confused. It takes a little while, but I dry off. I rejoin the party. But then, roughly 28 days later for most, I just have this urge again and I just walk over to the pool and I know what's going to happen and I don't want to do it, but my body goes on autopilot and I don't get to choose. So I go back over to the pool, I walk up the ladder on the diving board and I plunge myself down, and that continues. Every cycle, over and over again. And it gets so that I know what's coming. I know when I go to the ladder, I don't want to be there. I know what's coming next. I'm terrified. I can feel the buildup of going up the ladder. I feel the buildup of the free fall. None of it's good, but I can't stop it. It's built into my DNA. It's not something I can control. So over time, I choose, maybe this vitamin will stop me from going to the ladder. Maybe if I put on, I'm going to put on floaties, and that might be taking an SSRI. So maybe I still kind of go up the ladder and in the pool, but I just bob at the surface. I don't go as deep. It doesn't get as bad. I get out quicker. So that's kind of what most people with PMDD are stuck in, that phase of trying not to throw themselves off the diving board every single month. And so there's all kinds of supplements, treatments, things that are attempted to stop that process from happening. Because no one who's doing it wants to. No one wants to be at the bottom of the cold pool. It's not a choice. So for me, April of last year, I had a full hysterectomy with both ovaries removed, because that stops me from going to it's the equivalent of the ladder being taken away. So I still have PMDD. I still have the chemical makeup. My brain still has the genes that react really poorly to those hormone fluctuations, but the ladder's not there anymore. So I can't get up to the diving board. I can't throw myself in the water anymore. My body can't produce those hormones that were causing all of this to happen. Prior to that, I had taken Lupron for 9 months, and that essentially shut down those hormones from happening. So the ladder was still there. My body was still able to make them, but there was like a gate put across. So it was stopped. I couldn't get up the ladder. So I had relief from going in the pool every single month. So I guess depending on what your mental health issue is or what you're dealing with, you can probably place yourself in the cocktail party somewhere. Like, I'm over by the barbecue having a drink, having a great time, or I'm at the bottom of the pool, or somewhere in between those things. And that's kind of been, I guess, just a way so other people can understand what it might feel like to have depression. You don't want to go in the cold water. You want to get out of it. You'd love to be over having a drink with your friends. But it's just not always possible, and there's not always anything you have control over. You can't always do anything about it, but just kind of float there and hope that it passes. Hope that someone helps you get out. Hope that you figure a way out yourself. So I guess that's kind of my analogy to try and make it make sense. It popped in my head this morning, so I had to get it out before I kind of forgot how it all worked. But yeah, essentially for me, the surgery took the ladder away. So if I were to add back replacement hormones of the progesterone that causes that really bad reaction for me, I still have PMDD. I would still react. I would still throw myself into the pool. But the surgery means that my body's not doing that to me every month. So I get to just be at the cocktail party for the first time, in a long time. So, I hope that this is helpful for somebody. If it helps a partner or a friend or a family member make a little better sense of what someone's going through, or if it helps someone who is going through it to kind of pick out where you're at the pool, and then maybe find some resources to get dry and warm and come back to the party. Thanks.